my journey through the Bible. This will be applications that we can apply to our life. We are going to be in Genesis 45, 1 through 28. And we see a beautiful story of how Joseph forgives his brothers, and he can see God's plan in the midst of all the evil. Now, Joseph's brothers had wanted to get rid of him, so they threw him in a pit, and when some travelers came along, they sold their brother into slavery. And while this evil plan might have been fulfilled, God used their evil and turned it into something good. God used Joseph to make a way for the nation of Israel. Much like God sent Jesus to prepare a place for all of us. And in His timing, He will return and He will make all things good. Now, God is sovereign. Joseph was rejected, he was kidnapped, he was enslaved, and he was in prison, but Joseph remained faithful to God. God stayed with him through all of it. God took the evil and made it into a blessing. So when somebody does something evil to you, know that God can turn that into something good. He can turn it into something bigger and better than you could ever imagine. God works all things out for your good. Now, Joseph gave his brothers new clothes. Because remember, they ripped their clothes as a form of sorrow. So Joseph could not send his brothers back to his father naked. That would just be awful and embarrassing, to say the least. And Jacob, who is Israel, could not believe when his son said that Joseph is still alive. Israel needed proof. He needed to be able to see the wagons and the goods and all these things that would come from Egypt to realize that his son was still alive. We have that all throughout the Bible. Doubting Thomas couldn't believe that Jesus was alive again. He had to have proof. He had to see it for himself. That's in John 20:25. And life can be hard at times. And sometimes it can be hard to believe that something bad can turn into something good. But if we could just give it to God and try to see it through His life, through His eyes, we would be so better off if we could just accept God at His word and at His plans and be willing to believe until it comes visible to us. There are a lot of things in the Bible that are sometimes hard for people to believe. Sometimes they don't believe that Mary, who was a virgin, could have a child named Jesus. People don't always believe that Jesus died and then He rose 3 days later. They don't always believe that Jesus could heal the blind and the lame and the sick and raise the dead. But all of this is true. All of that is in the Bible to give us encouragement and to know that there is something more, and that our struggles here on this life are not for nothing. They're to prepare us for what is ahead. They're to prepare us for what God has planned for us. So hold on tight to your faith and believe the Word of God. God will show you small things so that it can be encouraging to you and to help you to hold on. And people can see by your faith that God's working in your life. It can be hard to forgive people, but it's so much easier on you in your life when you forgive. Because when we hold on to that hurt, we hold on to that grudge, and we want to make somebody pay for it. Many times I'd say they probably already forgot about it and moved on. So you holding on to it is hurting yourself. It's not allowing you to grow. It's not allowing you to move on with your life. So have faith that God has something bigger for you. God's got something amazing for you, and He's preparing you for that. But we have to learn to forgive. We have to learn to see God's plan, see the bigger picture of the plan, not just the here and now, not just our pain, but what God is preparing for the future for each one of us. May God be with you in everything and in every way.